But let me take you to Parliament now, because the minority are sounding the alarm on an alleged illegal recruitment being secretly done into the security services by government. Minority Leader Dr. Kaysel Atofos at a news conference alleged that all MPP parliamentary candidates ahead of the December elections have been given 30 slots, each to pick MPP supporters and foot soldiers to pack the security agencies, including the police and the army. Listen to him make the point yesterday at a news conference.
Notwithstanding the fact that the minority raised serious concerns about the criteria adopted by the NPP government to recruit personnel into the security services, it has persisted in taking additional steps in the last few days that we have seen. The NDC minority can authoritatively state that not long ago, the NPP government again has illegally and fraudulently given out 30 slots to all MPP parliamentary candidates across the country for the recruitment into the security services, namely Ghana Police Service, 2, the Immigration Service, 3, the Fire Service, 4, the Ghana Army, 5, the Ghana Navy, and 6, the Ghana Air Force. 30 slots to each parliamentary candidate of the NPP. The recruitment of the NPP foot soldiers into the security services, especially in this election year, is a calculated attempt to compromise the elections, given that the loyalty of the new recruits in the event that they are deployed will be to the ruling MPP and not to the state, as it is required for all security personnel. The murder of the 8 innocent Ghanaians during the 2020 presidential elections and parliamentary elections by the NPP party hooligans marks as security personnel is still fresh on our minds. These needless deaths as a result of the infiltration of our security services by such NPP thugs and hoodlums who were recruited into the security services. The blood of those whose lives were unlawfully and violently taken by the NPP thugs in security uniforms will continue to be in the hands of this government. Ladies and gentlemen, it is unacceptable that the government continues to put cheap partisan considerations ahead of the overall peace, security, and stability of our country in the run-up to the 2024 elections. We wish to remind His Excellency the President, President Akufo-Addo, and the Vice President, Alhaji Bawumia, that they will not have their way this time round, regardless of whatever maneuverings that they will roll out in the 2024 elections. We will resist these shenanigans with all our might and all our strength. Our members, our supporters and sympathizers will not just defend themselves against unlawful attacks by the NPP thugs in uniform. We shall hold these NPP hoodlums personally responsible for their unlawful violation of the laws of Ghana and the legitimate rights of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in the interest of the NPP foot soldiers to act lawfully or face the full consequences of their actions and the wrath of our supporters. Just as the minority protested vehemently against the politicization of our security services through illegal recruitment in 2019, we once again demand that recruitment into all the security services be halted forthwith to allow for advertisement to be made with the qualification criteria duly spelled out for all to see. By so doing, we would have created equal opportunity for all Ghanaians who would then be selected on the basis of merit and not cheap partisanship and nepotistic consideration. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this practice must stop.
So this was yesterday in Parliament when the minority, addressed this thorny issue in the House, but failed to provide evidence to back this very important claim that they made yesterday. That the Interior Minister this morning responded to it, denying that such arrangement is in place to afford MPP parliamentary candidate the opportunity to bring in people to be recruited into the security services and challenge the NDC to bring evidence. Now, in Parliament today, the Majority Caucus also had a news conference to respond to this matter. Patricia Piaget is the Deputy Majority Leader, and she's been responding to this claim made by the NDC minority yesterday.
A candidate or a member of Parliament has been allocated with any recruitment slots into any of our security services. These claims are not only false, but are a desperate attempt by the minority to incite public disfavor against the government as we approach the 2024 general elections. The minority's assertion that 276 MPP parliamentary candidates, including 138 sitting MPs, have each been given 30 recruitment slots is mathematically and administratively ludicrous. To suggest that about over 8,000, I should say 8,000 and about 250 new recruits could be absorbed into our security forces in a system that traditionally accommodates about 1,000 to 1,200 recruits annually shows a profound misunderstanding of the operational and financial framework of our security institutions. The claims by Dr. Kesu Atoforsen, the minority leader, are a deliberate distortion of reality and a malicious fabrication aimed at undermining the integrity of the government. Such allegations serve only to provoke unwarranted tensions and foster an environment of mistrust and political rivalry that our country does not need. Our respected Interior Minister, the Honorable Korti, has already outlined the government's recruitment strategy, which focuses on giving a second chance to qualified Ghanaians who previously applied but were not selected. This approach is not only fair, but also thoughtful, avoiding unnecessary financial burdens on applicants by not reopening the recruitment process widely. We urge the minority to refrain from spreading misinformation and to respect the intelligence of the Ghanaian public. Such tactics are beneath the dignity of our democratic processes and could potentially endanger the peace and the security of our nation. As the governing party, we remain committed to fairness, transparency, and the rule of law. We will not be swayed by these groundless accusations, but will continue to work diligently to ensure the safety and the security of all Ghanaians. We call on all parties and media houses to demand factual accuracy and to contribute responsibly to the political discourse of our nation. Let us move forward, not with falsehoods and fear, but with facts and faith in our democratic institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So Patricia Piaget is the Deputy Majority Leader, and she addressed that news conference in reaction to the one held by the NDC minority yesterday, alleging recruitment into the security services by MPP parliamentary candidates because they've been given a quota to fill in the gaps. And already, as we've been told, the Interior Minister says that the matter cannot be true, and they are demanding evidence so that they can probe this further if the need be. But we'll stay with politics and ahead of the 2024 general election. We're also keeping an eye on the Electoral Commission news conference that's also coming up pretty shortly. You want to stay tuned in here on the Pulse on Joy News for the update on what they've done so far in the limited voter registration exercise, the arrest and dismissal of some of their registration officers in Pusiga for aiding the registration of people with fake Ghana card. But the National Commission for Civic Education says persons who campaign for votes on the basis of religion are nation wreckers who must be rejected outright by the electors. Speaking at the launch of the Inter-Party Dialogue Committee, NCCE Commissioner Kathleen Adib warned that campaigns along religious and ethnic lines could destabilize the country as Ghana heads for the crucial 2024 elections. She insists such persons must not be given the audience, and such persons must also be voted against.
And we hope that as time goes on, as we deepen and mature in our democracy, we will see less and less of that. In fact, it is our hope that the nearly 1 million new voters that have that will vote this year will not continue the practice of old of voting along ethnic lines. The other thing is religious intolerance, which is a new threat that we are dealing with as a country. It is a very dangerous development that now people want to couch messages in terms of religion, why one person should vote for one type of religion or another person should not vote for one type of religion. Let me reinstate here that when political actors come to you and say that vote for me on the basis of this religion or don't vote for somebody else on the basis of that religion, you must know that they do not have your interest at heart. Because we know that in countries where there are divisions along religious lines, there's never peace and harmony. Here in Ghana, we are fortunate. We have not had that problem in the past. And let this year not be the year that we start to create further divisiveness on the basis of religion.
Right. Kathleen Ade also explains the phenomenon of vote buying, says it's a ticking time bomb warning. If the country does not rally to end the practices, it will set a dangerous precedent for the country's democracy.
The one which is so critical is the demand and supply of money in election campaigns, in the political campaigns. This year, we are seeing more and more of that. It is worrying, it is disturbing, and it is a very negative development and very unfortunate. As we grow in our democracy, we should be getting stronger. The democratic culture should be better rooted and ingrained. We should move away from negative things. But when it comes to money and politics, it looks like the more we mature in the democracy, the more we make it about money. This is completely wrong. And if it was just something that was wrong, maybe we could just have a discussion about it. But this is something that is actually very dangerous because the money that is shared, you have no idea where it comes from. But I can assure you that it is never free money. It is money that came from some place, and it will definitely go back to that place with interest. Let us stop making demands for money from political actors so that when they win, we can hold them properly accountable on the things that are important to us. We want to see development in education, in health, in infrastructure. We want to see a reduction in corruption. We want to see a deepening of civic culture. We want to see better and upright citizens. So if these are the things we want to see, then we should not be demanding money of people coming to, people putting themselves out to be elected.
Person for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Aremeyao Shaibu, has been cautioning the media against allowing intemperate language on the airwaves. He has also charged the media to play its watchdog role effectively to safeguard the peace of this country in this election year.
We rely on you so much. If somebody comes to your media house and is using, or, excuse my language, he speaks in a very reckless manner without thinking about the implication of, one, the content of what he says, and two, the tone of the discussions, then you must be those who can keep that discussion under control. Media discussions must be so healthy and seen as an opportunity to make an exchange in how we put ideas together and help us in a way as to really arrive at a choice of the best that is good for our country. And I think that she has made those points very, very clear to us. if you do not help us to do so, then you help us to break our country. We have only one Ghana. Anytime there is conflict, there is war, and we all run away and we cross the borders of Ghana, we lose the respectability of our identity. Over there, we are called what? If I was in the classroom, I would ask you a question. Over there, we are called what? Can you all answer me? Refugees.
And of course, we will stay a little longer on governance issues because in spite of widespread criticism, President Akufo-Addo has been defending his track record in every aspect of governance, and system is one that is unmatched and makes him very proud. Now, while swearing in new ministers and deputies, he listed the various sectors of the economy and touted his record whilst admonishing his new appointees to build upon the work done so far.
That in all modesty, I'm exceedingly proud of my record in office and the considerable achievements that have been recorded in all sectors of national life these last 7.5 years, one or two of which have been very difficult as a result of global developments. Whether it is in the management of the national economy, in education, healthcare, roads, railways, digitalization, infrastructural development, agricultural and industrial transformation, the protection of Ghana's territorial integrity and security, the fight against corruption, the battle against environmental degradation, the response to the COVID-19 pandemic, entrenching the tenets of good governance and the rule of law, contributing to the attainment of regional and continental integration and unity, being at the forefront of the growing demand for the reform of global governance institutions, or in advocating respect for international law and multilateralism. The record is there for all to see, and I believe it is one which, in all humility, is at the least the equal of any in the history of the Fourth Republic. I can say in all good conscience that I have not betrayed the mandates the good people of Ghana conferred on me.
So that event took place at the Jubilee House last night, and we'll take a short break here on the pulse. When we return, we'll talk a lot more about this congestion charge in the UK, £5 million over 20 years. The Ghana Embassy have not paid. We'll take you to the Electoral Commission's office for that new conference, updating the nation on the limited voter registration exercise, plus more here on the pulse with me, Elton Bobe. Stay right there, we shall be back.